Okay, we are back like we never left. Um, Usually this is where I say welcome to the small cap review, but to be honest, I think today we might just only talk about SGBX, maybe throw in a couple other names briefly at the end, but for me, this is an A plus trade review. This is one that we talked about yesterday. Um, on day one here, we liked the range that it had, and then it held these levels. I mentioned yesterday, no reason to sleep on it. If it holds the levels, I thought maybe end of day yesterday we could get a push up. That did not happen, but we did hold all of this after hours, and then in the pre-market, they dip it right below to yank it up. So couple important things to note from day one to have you prepared for day two on this name. Firstly, marking this pre-market high zone. It correlates here with this daily gap. All right. Another important thing to note here, coming off the daily, we talked about it yesterday, is the gap and spikes. This day here, gap and spike. This day here, gap and spike. It ended up giving it all away. This day showing crazy range. This is a name that has a history of just going nuts. It is, as we talk about it here, not even, you can see the daily chart just wigging out. Um, Another important thing that we're going to have to get to be prepared to take this trade and take full advantage is getting levels from this previous day's spike. So it's close enough where let me scroll here. It is close enough where I just scroll over and take a look. First thing, high a day zone. Second thing, this pop that it had towards the end of the day and failed. So gathering these two levels, and then we also can see this 520 daily level was respected there as well. So with all that information, we are ready to trade this name today. Now, you'd have to be a crazy man, in my opinion, to somehow get in this move before this pop, whether you're holding it from the prior day, which is not probably not a great idea, or somehow playing it in pre-market, which again would be kind of crazy to do. So we're gonna assume first time we see this is where I saw it at first after this initial pop in the pre-market. So I actually was a little bit eager once I saw this pop, knowing the context of the daily chart, knowing what it did yesterday. I had a lot of faith that at the very least, after this, once the market opens, we are going to take out these highs. At the very least, I really thought that this had the potential to be a very strong name. So I actually was a little bit too eager and entered here in the pre-market, which I rarely do, but I just loved this pre-market high, thought that this would be a good base for it. So I entered here around 385, right near this 8 EMA, and I was going to give it a chance till open, to be honest, once we got here, start second guessing a little bit, but that's why I usually just wait till open. You almost always are going to get another chance at the open, and you do get that here. First candle, um, you know, eh, we saw action both ways, a little green, a little red on the candle, but ultimately we do play off this previous day's high nicely and start to build off from it. And these EMAs are always positively stacked. Once we get back over VWAP, we're just ripping. I mean, we are just ripping. Um, let's see, check my notes here. I mean, I took it, like I said, down here at 385, and was holding it all the way up here till 6. So for not even catching, the craziest part of the move, um, just a nuts name. I mean, I still made out pretty darn well on it. So I played it up here to these previous zones. Again, these are from the initial gap day about a week ago. Shout out to Bobby Schmurder. Um, and then once you get this giant extension here, it's gonna have to pull back. This name has to pull back at some point, if it just cut out this middle section, this, kind of 5 minute flag and just kept on going up, that would be truly an anomaly. So what we get here, I mean, like I said, A plus trade. This thing was damn near perfect. Um, Once we kind of exhaust into these previous zones on this high day volume, you see the volume kind of start to diminish, pulling back on lighter volume. And like we said earlier, this 520 level, it was respected previously. We would love to see it be respected again. So it is not worse because it does a little below and above, below and above, below and above. Right here, last shake of the tree, you get this move up to this zone and then this harder flush down to VWAP. So here, maybe if you took a short position on this bounce or on this bounce, 61 fib was somewhere up here. We'll just draw it to be exact. Hits the 61 fib here, excuse me, and almost again here. So, you know, if you're in this short, which, maybe if you're systematic and you're saying that, I'm getting in these fib bounces no matter what on this extension, whatever, you know, this is the kind of move that you want to see. But it wouldn't be an A plus trade without gathering a couple extra shorts in the process. Um, right here, we get this dip to VWAP, nice hammer candle below it. And then from there, the party is back on. Um, we just build here. We're not breaking previous candles lows. I mean, if we turn the candles to, never know how to say it, Hakinashi, is that what we're going to call it? Once we get this game on. I really hardly use these. You can maybe use them for entry, but easy to kind of get faked out. I like to use them to stay in a trade sometimes, um, but you also can just use your eyes and know that the break of the previous candle low is the where the Hakanashi is going to change. So, um, yeah, off of VWAP building, and then yeah, you get this low a day volume right at VWAP, which we saw this yesterday on another ticker. What name was that? I think it was EBS. We saw that where we had that really diminished volume right at VWAP, and then the volume ramp begins, and we get this second, third, fourth leg up coming here. So absolutely rips through these levels. I mean, this was instant. 1 second it was 580, the next it was 660, touching halt bands. And again, now that we're looking at this previous level, this high that we had before, this previous high a day, and we are looking here, waiting for the pullback off the AEMA, first candle, make a new high, and we're off to another explosive leg up. I mean, these candles were just incredible. I mean, here is the first sign that you get of some concern, potential weakness with all these upper wicks. But with the name this crazy, it's never, in my book, until you really get a very, very clear defined move to signal backside, it's absolutely no touch for the shorts, or at least for me. Wanting to play it short, I would. Once you get a move like this, I would never. First off, time of day is not ideal after 10:30, still showing strength. So easier names to short, like today, you could have done HCTI. Um, that was a pretty clean short one. So no need to try and get into this name short when it is showing that, at least from a short perspective, it is a headache and a half. So really, I think the key here is just making sure you're coming into the day prepared. You have these previous high day zones, you're doing the work, going back on the chart, going back to those previous days, seeing what levels are respected. In this case, this high a day, this intraday zone, and this 520 level. So using that as a price target on the first leg, and then when you start to see the respect coming in, knowing the context, knowing that this is a name that has a history of running and going crazy, knowing that it could have more juice, giving you faith to get into the second leg of the trade. Nice 5-minute flag. No, it is not textbook, but when you get this diminishing volume, pulling back to the 8, pulling back to VWAP, pulling back to previously respected daily pivots, that's an awesome trade to get into and then clean all the way up. So I'm not speaking like this one is done. Who knows what could happen if we look at the daily chart. Next level I have is this 580. Maybe you could have drawn some in here. You know, it is a powerful name, a good name to trade uh, when you're exceeding the highest levels that you had drawn on the daily chart. So awesome, awesome, awesome name. I hope that you guys traded it. Um, like I said, I actually don't even think that I want to go over any of the other names that were on the table today. I mean, you had decent setups from, WoW, CTMX was a nice inside bar. Um, I actually have not checked up on that one. Let's just see. Yeah, I gave you a nice play off of that previous high zone, but just up to that next level. I don't even know what we're drawing here. Oh, this gap here. Sometimes lines get pulled over. Anyway, let's keep the main thing the main thing. SGBX, an incredible name to end the week. Great way to start the weekend. I know as soon as I upload this, I'm going to be calling it. So I'll go ahead, stop it there. If you guys have any questions about this name, how to be prepared for them, how to spot them, how to make sure we're letting shares ride, whatever it may be on this name, let me know. I might even start a new folder or a playlist for these A plus reviews. So if you're interested in that, let me know as well. So um, this is Gary Long. I appreciate you stopping by for the A plus trade review. Have a great weekend, and I'll catch you guys soon. Thanks.